Both sides of the story, linking Jamaicans in the diaspora with Jamaicans of like mind in Jamaica.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Yes, both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to Both Sides of the Story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or nobex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
I know what the caged bird feels. Ah, me. When the sun is bright on the upland slopes, when the wind blows soft through the springing grass, and the river floats like a sheet of glass, when the first bird sings and the first bud opes, and the faint perfume from its chalice steals, I know what the caged bird feels. I know why the caged bird beats his wing, till its blood is red on the cruel bars, for he must fly back to his perch and cling, when he fain would be on the bow a swing, and the blood still throbs in the old, old scars, and they pulse again with a keener sting. I know why he beats his wing. I know why the caged bird sings. Ah, me, when its wings are bruised and its bosom sore, it beats its bars and would be free. It's not a carol of joy or glee, but a prayer that it sends from its heart's deep core, a plea that upward to heaven it flings. I know why the caged bird sings.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh, guide us, Jaman, guide us, Jaman. Oh, yeah. Have mercy on a good man and help him. We pray, Jaman. Have mercy on a good girl and help her. We pray, Jaman. Man, was made to suffer, yeah. And women were made to feel the pain. Stay by our side and guide us. We pray, Jaman. Give us all your blessings and help us. We pray, Jaman. Time is running out, but we need no one not to cry nor shout. Change them who've gone astray and show them the way, the man. Make this an everlasting example. We pray, the man, yeah. Man was made to suffer, yeah, yeah. And women were made to feel the pain. Have mercy on a good man and help him. We pray, Jaman. Have mercy on a good girl and help her.
Have Mercy by the Mighty Diamonds. And before that, the poetry of Paul Lawrence Dunbar, Paul Lawrence Dunbar. Paul Lawrence Dunbar. The poem is entitled Sympathy. Sympathy. We have a lot of good people in this country, a whole heap of good people in this country. And a lot of us are struggling or having particular difficulties. A lot of us mean no harm to anyone, just trying to make the most of what we have and doing without what we don't have. We pray and hope and work towards a day when more of these people like you and me, can get the kind of support that is necessary to achieve our full potential. There are so many whose dreams have been put on hold. And we have said before on this program that we shouldn't allow that to happen. We shouldn't allow that to happen. And we're happy for those who have been playing their part and continue to play their part and will be playing their part in following the words of that gem we learned from the centenarian Cicely Morris from Penance in Northern Clarendon. And she said, "Help the weak if you're strong. Help the old if you're young. Keep a guard upon your tongue and own a fault if you're wrong. And it's another call to service. Let us do what we can while we can for whomever we can. Because the day will come when we can't. So let's be up and doing. Let's remember the first talent is the willingness to do. The willingness to do. That's the first talent. It's all well and good to sit here and say, I'm going to halfway tree. But if I don't find a way to get to halfway tree, I'll just be still sitting here saying, I'm going to halfway tree. We have to be up and doing. And that line from, whose poem was that now? Was it Wordsworth or Wadsworth? Longfellow. We have to be up and doing with a heart for any fate. Learn to labor and to wait. What the psalmist said to the young man, I think that was the piece. It's the 9th day of the second month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Reggae Month and Heart Month activities continue here in Jamaica. Meanwhile, Americans, Canadians, Britons, and the Dutch, among other people in the world, are still celebrating Black History Month. The week is being observed as National Foster Care Recognition Week here in Jamaica. And the Feast of Saint Maron is being commemorated in Lebanon. Hoy es martes el 9 de febrero 2021 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
To suffer, yeah. And women were made to feel the pain.
C'est mardi le 9 février 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Tuesday, the 9th of February, 2021, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Help us, we pray, Jaman.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
The February 5 off 50 sales event at Home and Things is here. Take $5 off every $50 you spend. Save big on the brands you know and trust. From beautiful Spanish and Brazilian tiles to exquisite bathroom fixtures from Sedosa, American Standard and Corona. Stylish Moen and American Standard faucets. Doors, windows, paints, and home decor treasures that inspires beauty and elegance. It's the February 5 off 50 sales event happening now at Home and Things. Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road. Catch it while it lasts.
The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more right here on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
Join Jason Downer, Dawitt Jeffrey, and Sekou Hunter every second and fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. live and exclusively on Power 106 FM for Magava's Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Do you have a son? Are you the guardian for boys? Do you teach or work with boys? What are some of the challenges you face? Are you searching for answers? Are you concerned about the state of our nation boys and males in general? Raising boys, teaching boys, preparing boys. Magava Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Join us.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh, guide us, Jaman. Guide us, Jaman.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you would have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. Hi to those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the USA or the UK. Those in the United States who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631 359 8281. 631 359 8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606 0953. 0330 606 0953. And we're all over social media: Facebook, Twitter, Skype, Instagram, LinkedIn, BBM, Yahoo Messenger, Tango, WhatsApp, Snapchat. In fact, we're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, in the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to not only hear but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. We thank you if you have logged on to the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to both sides of the story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. If you wish to participate in today's edition of Both Sides of the Story, the lines are open to you: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, but also your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, and indeed, you can call us via WhatsApp. There are those who prefer to dial us directly by calling the same number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. What's on your mind this afternoon? How's everybody doing? The numbers are not looking good. The COVID-19 numbers, which says a lot about what's been happening or not happening. We want to once again remind all of us of the basic ways in which we can help our country to effectively manage this pandemic. Washing our hands, sanitizing and washing our hands as often as possible. Wearing our mask. Yes, let's wear the mask. Wear that mask to protect others. Yeah, we wear our masks to protect others from us and to protect us from others. It works both ways. It's reciprocal. And we must maintain that distance, that physical distance, that distance that would cause us to avoid receiving any bodily fluid from that distance, especially coming out of the mouth or the nostrils. Yeah. So let's just continue to do our best in that regard. The Ministry of Health and Wellness tested just under 1940 samples. To be more precise, 1,935 samples tested. Of that number, 403 were confirmed as being COVID-19 positive. 403. That's the highest ever since the first confirmed case on which would have been 336 days ago on the 10th of March 2020. And in terms of the number of deaths, we've had one over the last 24 hours, an 84-year-old male from the corporate area. 12,362 people have recovered from COVID-19. There are 4,793 active cases. 156 people have been admitted to hospital. 22 of them moderately ill, 13 critically ill. Further details are on the Ministry of Health and Wellness website, moh.gov.jm. We really have let down our guard, our collective guard, and now we are having to contend with an increase in the number of cases. Let's just continue to do what we know we're supposed to do. Those of us who know better, let's continue to do better. How about that? 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Let's greet those who are in touch with us. Ivor Paul Morrison and Maureen Keating Pitter, good afternoon. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. It's a bright and a sunny day here in Tar Isle. Hope your day is bright also. Miss Cherry Henry, whenever we realize that we have lived to see another day, no one else could be happier. So whether it is bright or dull or dark or whatever is happening, we just always feel so privileged to be alive at such a time as this. And we remain eternally grateful for the gift of life. Jacqueline Simmons, good afternoon and blessings to you too. Thank you very much for tuning in. Dwayne Bodden, muy buenas tardes. Dwayne Bodden is in Roatan Island in Honduras. Welcome, Dwayne Bodden, Roatan Island, Honduras. David Allen says, hi, Mr. Malcolm. Please allow me to inform the Prime Minister that Jamaica's crime problem will be much lower if the infrastructure in every Jamaican city, well, we have the city of Kingston, the city of Montego Bay, and the municipality of Portmore. Those are the cities. Well, you could broaden it by saying or town centers or cities, town centers. So you say if the infrastructure in our town centers and cities are modernized, starting by removing all ghettos from downtown Kingston City, by relocating all the citizens to a new security-friendly housing scheme, elsewhere manned by high-tech security cameras and very low perimeter fences to allow the police to see from one end to another end. The entire downtown Kingston can now be transformed into a full-fledged business district with modern buildings, housing, insurance, and financial companies, shopping centers, expensive apartments and hotels, and also a thriving cruise ship pier downtown by the waterfront. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us, David Allen. All the best to you. Sylviana Johnson says, hello, Dervan. With those rising numbers of COVID-19 cases, they should delay face-to-face classes. Well, we've been delaying face-to-face classes for more than a year now, haven't we? Or just about. The approach, we can understand the anxiety and the concern, especially on the part of parents and guardians. What it really is about, it's about management. We like to share the famous quote by Peter Drucker on this program. Those who seek to lead but fail to manage will become either irrelevant or dangerous, not only to themselves, but to their organization. So it's all about management. That's what it boils down to. And it can be done. It can be done. It's not an impossibility. It can be done. It requires a level of management. Let's just manage. And where we find that there is a case, we know what to do, isolation, etc., etc., etc. But let's do the best we can. As we have said, we like to draw the analogy. We like to talk about the London Eye. If you're familiar with the London Eye. If you're not, you can Google it. It's a huge, what looks like a huge Ferris wheel, or a huge wheel with cubicles, and people, you pay to go on to get a ride, and it overlooks the city of London, and beautiful, fantastic. We've been there. And the thing about it, it is so expertly engineered that it keeps going. It never stops. People are getting off and going on, and it never stops. That's the story of life. It never stops. The London Eye. Check it out. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
Bashko time. All the things that you need. Bashko. When price is so low, you will never need alone at Bashko. Tell it. At Bashko. Bashko, where you shopping? Appliances, houseware, furniture, and rugs. Gifts and linens and glass and mugs at Bashko. Where you shopping? At Bashko. Tell it. Whether they not or so, they got the east and the west. Put them all over, they must be the best at Bashko. Where you shopping? At Bashko. Tell them again. At Bashko. At Bashko. At Bashko. The store that gives you more.
How can you make your business thrive in the new normal? By using the most powerful IT solutions from Digicel Business Hub to optimize your business operations. High-speed Wi-Fi, mobile and office phones, IT security, Microsoft Office with Teams, and much more. Get Digicel Business Hub, world-class IT from just $399 USD a month for 5 users. Visit us today on www.digicelbusiness.com.
The older I get. Did you check on mommy, daddy, or even grandpa or grandma today? A reminder from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and the National Council for Senior Citizens to care for our elderly persons, not only for today, but every day.
Join Jason Downer, Dawit Jeffrey, and Sekou Hunter every second and fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. live and exclusively on Power 106 FM for Magaba's Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Do you have a son? Are you the guardian for boys? Do you teach or work with boys? What are some of the challenges you face? Are you searching for answers? Are you concerned about the state of our nation boys and males in general? Raising boys, teaching boys, preparing boys. Magaba Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Join us.
Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Damas on Power 106 FM is now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. 1 hour of solid advice, great interaction, and a belly full of laughs. That's Dear Pastor, now 1 power-packed hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday here on Power 106 FM.
Man was made to suffer, and women were made.
It really is about being creative, being inventive, being innovative, being responsive, being aware, being in touch, and we could go on and on. Our consciousness must be aroused. And this thing about putting our children's education on hold is going to set us back. That can't be our level of thinking. We can be more creative than that. Whatever happens, learning must never, ever stop. However we do it, however we fashion it, however we structure it, however we package it, learning must never, ever stop. Until the day we die, learning must be that constant. And it's no different for our children. Whatever we do, let us ensure that they never stop learning. That is what is going to take them forward and beyond COVID-19. Learning. Learning must never stop. As Mark Twain said, he never allowed his schooling to interfere with his education. As we have said to the young people over and over again, for those who care to listen or who are forced to listen because their parents or guardians are listening, that he never allowed his schooling, Mark Twain said he never allowed his schooling to interfere with his education. All that's happening with our children now, for our children, about our children, against our children. It's all a part of the learning experience. And that's how we have to socialize our children. Every opportunity we get to teach them something, teach them something. Every opportunity we get, take advantage of those teachable moments. They are going to remember them. Clearly, I haven't forgotten what my late mother told me, all the things, and I can keep going back to them. That's the idea. That's what socialization is about. It's the gems, it's the love, it's the messaging, it's the sharing, it's the caring, it's the teaching. Always, you don't miss an opportunity. Never miss an opportunity to share in a teachable moment with your child or children. Never miss an opportunity. Support their interests. Because the idea is to expose them to all the options that are out there. Whether by showing them, and well, you don't even need to show them. They can see anything they want to know is available online. So whatever, as we like to say to the young people, first of all, what do you love? What do you love to do? What do you enjoy? What do you enjoy doing? Once you're able to identify that, and that can evolve over time as well. But once you're able to identify that thing that you love, for example, some of us don't like to read. Some of us can't bother with reading. So I usually say to young people, all right, you don't like to read. What do you like? What do you love? And they might say football. I say, read about football then. Read about what you love, and what you're doing in the meantime, you're feeding your brain with words, sentence structure, the whole works. And over time, you'll find that you're able to present yourself much better, whether orally or in writing, because you're constantly exposing your mind to words, sentence structure, and all the other features necessary for us to carry on in this world. That's the idea. So what is it you love? What is it that you enjoy? And then, is there a career? Is there a profession? Is there a vocation? Is there an enterprise which matches your personality? What is your personality? Are you outgoing? Are you fun-loving? Are you business-like? Etc., etc. Whatever is your personality, whatever excites you, whatever gets your interest and keeps your interest, match that with a career path or a vocation or a skill or skill set. And as parents and guardians, we should encourage our children in that regard. Let's try not to live our lives through our children. No, that's burdening the poor children. Don't burden the children. Don't burden the children with that. Allow them to find their place in the human race, to find their purpose. There are so many lessons coming out of this pandemic. There are so many opportunities coming out of this pandemic. And this is how we have to help to fashion the mindset of our people in general, in particular our children. We have to help them to fashion that mindset. When you give them lemon, that they make lemonade instead of asking for bag juice or soda or whatever else. Make lemonade. You have lemons. Go ahead and make lemonade. Instead of complaining you don't want any, make the lemonade. Yeah. We have a lot to learn. So the idea is, Whatever we do in relation, whatever decisions we make in relation to our children, let's do our best to ensure that learning never stops for our children. Give them the learning tools that they need. I was on a call with some boys, some youngsters out of Portland, and I felt so good. One of them was showing me on camera, because this was all via Zoom. He was showing me what did he create? I think it was a robot actually. He got the component parts. And there was another one who took the camera out to show us the chickens. Was it chickens or rabbits he was taking care of, etc. So allow the children to explore their environment in terms of identifying ways in which they can make a difference, no matter how young they are. That they can create something, they can come up with ideas. Everything we see around us is somebody's idea. This microphone in front of me is somebody's idea. This smartphone is somebody's idea. This laptop is somebody's idea. The chair I'm sitting in is somebody's idea. The shirt I am wearing is somebody's idea. It all starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. And we must lose this defeatist approach. The defeatist approach is not helping us. It's killing us, literally and figuratively. There is hope. Even in this time of COVID-19, there has never been more opportunities in this world than there are right now. Never been more opportunities at any other time. Lots of different ways to make it legally. Lots of ways to make it legally. We have more than enough examples. And these examples we must constantly bombard the listening public, the reading public, the viewing public with, so they can see others are finding ways to make it legally, legitimately. It can be done. To borrow the line from Dr. Henry Lowe's book, it can be done. So young people, don't stop learning. Keep learning. Keep feeding your brain. Keep feeding your brain. The more you feed your brain, the better for you. Here's an example. If you feed your brain with the information, the knowledge, the understanding on whatever subject you're doing, when you get into a test or exam situation and become hungry for information, your brain is going to feed you back. But if you starve your brain of the information, of the knowledge, of the understanding, if you starve your brain from that experience, then when you are in an exam situation or a test situation and you become hungry for information, you're going to starve. You can only get out of this thing called a brain exactly what you put in. That's exactly what you get out of it. If you put in nothing, don't expect anything. Why are you surprised if you put nothing up here and you end up with a blank sheet or a big fat zero? No. Use it up. This thing up here is very powerful. Use it up, young people. And especially in these times, let us not lose the moment. Let's continue to learn as much as we can to build our resilience so that if and when another pandemic comes around, there are certain things that would have happened this time that are unlikely to happen that time. How about that? There's more after the break.
Change them. Who's gonna sway?
The time is now
2:45.
Yo, Akeem.
What go on, G? When the course a start?
You know, say it's soon start, but I'm not finish register yet.
Eh? How come?
My mother try to sort out the registration fee, but she short about 10 grand.
That rough. But they never the pamper on time I go to school.
Yeah, you know.
Then a set man, part of a grand few like me and you, where the certificate or receipt sexy subject.
For real, who tell you that?
Brother, I news and sort up myself September. And them a take application from now till the end of March. So go use some time and check it out.
Path beneficiary students, if you completed secondary school in the past 2 years and are continuing to post-secondary studies, we have a grant for you. Visit the ministry's webpage or Path Facebook page or call 876-922-8007. Path, advancing your family, developing Jamaica. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
Who's gonna stray and show them the way, the man? Make this an everlasting example.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Sylviana Johnson, who says, hello, Dervan. With those rising numbers of COVID-19 cases, they should delay face-to-face classes. I think that's the one that started, that's the message that started the commentary that we delivered a short while ago. Thank you for your message, Sylviana Johnson. We have dealt with that one. Thank you. Gray Shim says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Third world countries have to buy Russian or Cuban vaccines. This pandemic won't be done soon. Think of polio and measles still around. Well, we will see how it all unfolds. Not sure about having to buy Russian and Cuban vaccines because we are told that the government of Jamaica is buying the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. That's the one they're paying for. And it's expected in a few days, maybe about 5 days, I believe, or so. In a few days. So let's see. Thank you for your message, Gresham. Alva Cole, good afternoon. Ivor Paul Morrison says, love your show. Interesting information. Ivor Paul Morrison from Linton Park, St. Anne, Jamaica, living in the Bronx, New York. Thank you very much. How's the weather in the Bronx, New York, Ivor Paul Morrison? Good to hear from you. Norma Bell. Norma Bell. Is this our Norma Bell? The famous Norma Bell? We don't know. But whether or not it is, good afternoon to Norma Bell. Devon Lewis, hello to you. Althea Bernard. Yvonne Myrie. Ivy Liz May, good afternoon. Listening from Canada, she says. Soraya Sinclair. Nice first name there. Soraya. 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 I like the way it rolls off the tongue. Soraya. Soraya Sinclair. Starboy Mark British is on as well. Lorna Miller. And Soraya says, fellow Jamaicans, please feel free to visit authenticja.com. This had better be good, Soraya, because we just clicked on authenticja.com. And it's, I think it has to, is it the community tourism product. I think that's what it is. This is the one we learned of on Saturday on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online. I think it is authenticja.com. Right. Thank you very much for sharing, Soraya. All the very best. Take care. Oh, yesterday we did promise to clear the backlog of messages. Yes, sorry about that. We didn't get to read some of these messages yesterday. Let's clear that backlog, please. Where do we start? Thank you for your answers. Da, 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 da. No interest. Oh, this one. Is this the one? Did we send this off to Calicia Findlay yesterday? All right, we're going to do that now. We're going to forward. We're going to forward this message to Calicia Findlay of Land Solutions so that this listener can be advised accordingly. And we're going to add the listener's number as well. Yes, we're going to add the number. Let's copy this number. Phone number copied. And let's put it in the box for Calicia. So here's the number. All right. No doubt Calicia will deal with that. She usually responds quite promptly. Here's another message. Driver in America says, serious man, that have volcano on standby. Oh, that's a caller yesterday who was calling down judgment and volcano on all of us. Arlene says, okay, Dervan, I heard you. This is in relation to if I'm using the wrong mid. Oh, yes, I responded to your message, Arlene. All the best. And let's come around to Tony Kelly. Yesterday's message. Guess what? We had a call at 4 p.m. to come and have the vaccination at 4:15 p.m. Rose and Abigail insisted that I must have it, so had to give in and go. I suppose 2 on 1 is murder, as the Jamaican saying goes. So the wife and daughter prevailing on husband and father. Well, yeah, they both prevailed on Tony Kelly. And he got his jab. All the best, Tony Kelly. Keep us posted. Angela Golding yesterday said, hi, Dervan, how are you? Would be willing to do a 30-second video with a save the date information for us instead. Please let us know. Thanks. What's this again? Save the date. We serve live launch. Oh, I'm so sorry, Angela. When is this? You didn't give us a date, though. You didn't give us a date. All right, let's respond to Angela. Yeah, well, we need to respond to her properly. Hang on, Angela, coming to you. Hang on. Good afternoon to Marcia Harford. How are you? For those who normally look forward to the Chinese Benevolent Association's annual New Year's celebration, the annual Spring Festival, which is, well, this year it's scheduled for the 21st of February, but here's how they're doing it. Meals will be pre-packaged for pickup, and you can choose your combinations. Chicken and mushroom and pork and muknee. Oh my goodness, what is muknee? Never heard of it. Muknee. Muknee. What is muknee? Well, if you know, tell us. Chicken and mushroom and sweet and sour fish, or pork and mokni and sweet and sour fish. Meals will be served with rice and vegetables. So that's the Chinese Benevolent Association's annual Spring Festival with a drive-through dinner. Did you hear that? A drive-through dinner. So it will be pre-packaged, and you pick up, you drive through, pick up, and go. No lingering around. And that's on the 21st of February, Sunday the 21st of February, at the Chinese Benevolent Association at 176 Old Hope Road. They'll be serving dinner between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Dinner will be served Sunday the 21st of February. Contribution, $1,500 per person. The caterers, New Imperial Court Restaurant. Those are the caterers. New Imperial Court Restaurant. All COVID-19 protocols will be observed. All COVID-19 protocols will be observed. So that's the information. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Marcia Harford, for the information. The Chinese Benevolent Association drive-through dinner to celebrate the annual Spring Festival Chinese New Year. Gung Hee Fat Choi. Gung Hee Fat Choi. There's another way to say Happy New Year. It will come back to me in a moment. So this is Sunday, the 21st of February. And what else do we need to tell you? The 2021 Chinese New Year Garden Party is still on, but it will be online. Visit cbajamaica.com. It will be online. Go to cbajamaica.com online to learn about the celebration activities and the show for Sunday, the 21st of February. All in keeping with COVID-19 protocols. Tickets are available at the Chinese Benevolent Association, Ligani Drug and Garden Center, Electra World, Hicha in Ligani Plaza, My Fandangles Kids in Sovereign, Dr. Juliette Lee, South Avenue, Lane Plaza, Fresh Approach at 112 Constant Spring Road. There you go. The Chinese Benevolent Association carrying on. We recall last year we were there and just a few people turned up because everybody was scared having heard at that time about COVID-19. And at that time, COVID-19 was not confirmed to be in Jamaica. But the brave, those of us who were brave enough, were at the Chinese Benevolent Association last year this time. Well, not exactly this time, but for these New Year's celebrations, which went well. It was a wonderful show, wonderful event. And no talk, no sound, no indication of any COVID-19 related matter emerging from that event. So that's, yeah, we're happy to have been a part of that experience, that safe experience last year. Marcia Harford, thank you very much. Received with thanks. All the best. Let's see who else is online. Messages from yesterday. Two more before we come to today's messages. Well, this one is a video. This one, let's see. Let's do this. Here we go. Oh. All right, we're making a note of this. Good afternoon to our friends at Jose Marti, the Jose Marti Alumni Association, New York chapter and JA chapter, and all the other chapters for that matter. There's a presentation to be made to the students, presentation of learning devices. We're happy to hear that. And we look forward to being a part of that experience, safely so, as usual. Right. Thank you, Sharon Smith of the Jose Marti Alumni Association New York chapter, for keeping us abreast of that development. Let's go to the break, which gives us an opportunity to. Yeah, that's what I said. Let's go to the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock.
Join Jason Downer, Dawit Jeffrey, and Sekou Hunter every second and fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. live and exclusively on Power 106 FM for Magaba's Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Do you have a son? Are you the guardian for boys? Do you teach or work with boys? What are some of the challenges you face? Are you searching for answers? Are you concerned about the state of our nation boys and males in general? Raising boys, teaching boys, preparing boys. Magava Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Join us.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
Stay by our side and guide us. We pray, Jawan. Give us.
We are so happy that so many alumni associations have been responding to the needs of our children. Don't get into the various debates that are out there. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information will continue to do what the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has always done. The Jamaica Teachers Association will continue to do what it has always done. The Parent Teacher Association will continue to do the National Parent. The point is, don't waste your time with all the noise and the mix-up and the cascas and the. Just get the work done. Just make sure. Zoom in on the children. The adults will always go at it. Let them go at it. The rest of us, just zoom in on the children. The focus, the children, the children, the children, the young people, the students. Let's keep them in our line of vision. Let's keep them there and help them. So we're grateful and happy and delighted with the work that alumni associations across the globe have been doing. So, for example, we're going to, coming up on Kids Connect this afternoon, we're going to learn about another alumni association that is making sure that the students are not left behind. They're making sure the students are not left behind. That is where we must invest our time and energy. We really don't have time for the saying that we used to use in Jamaica, the lele. We don't have time for the lele. There's work to be done. Jamaica College motto is Fervet Opus in Campus. That's Latin for work is burning in the field. Work is burning in the field. We have work to do. We don't have time for any mix-up and blender and cascas and ego. This is no place for ego. The children must remain our central focus. Let's do all we can to help them. Let's move on. Where are we? The other messages. Let's go to hello, Bishop Douglas Gooden. How are you? More coming through here. A couple of voice notes here that we'll have to listen to. And coming up to this one, a video that we don't have the time to watch right now. And this one, Miss Olive. What is this from Miss Olive? She has shared with us, find meaning in your everyday work. It's hard to feel inspired about much of anything these days, let alone your job. What can you do to shift your perspective if you feel that your work has lost its purpose? Start by tuning inward. Reflect on what you care about and what motivates you. Think about what you wanted to work at your organization in the first place. Or is it why you wanted to work at your organization in the first place? And remind yourself how the work you do affects others. Then turn outward by lending a hand to your colleagues. You might, for instance, coach a younger employee or give advice to a member of your team who's struggling. Helping people provide purpose in itself. Finally, identify what triggers your stress and negativity, social media, certain relationships, or the news, for example, and set boundaries to protect yourself. These may seem like simple tips, but put in practice, they'll bring you closer to finding purpose in your everyday work. This tip is adapted from How to Find Meaning When Your Job Feels Meaningless by Rebecca Knight. Thanks for sharing, Olive, Miss Olive in Portmore. Thank you very much. This one, well, the others. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada, sharing another video there. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine is saying hi to everybody as usual. Maurice in New Jersey, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for keeping in touch. Thank you very much. All the best. And this one, what's this now? 1995. I'm not sure what's the point this person is making. Why the government do not buy out Dunn's River Craft Market so craft vendors can get some money to something. I'm not sure how would that work? So that would be buying you out, and then what happens when your money is finished? And when, well, I don't know. Maybe you can give us the mechanics of that plan, help us to understand. And today, the person says 1995 Toyota Hilux cost $1.5 million after customs, so we can cut cost and improve production in our livelihood. Why the government don't give license to farmers and fisher folks to bring in these affordable pickups so they can make life easier? Good day, sir. Well, that's not a bad idea, except that whatever the systems of checks and balances will have to be strengthened, and such that people will not be able to Jim Screechy and engage in any underhanded behavior, etc. But we get the point you're making. Find ways to ensure, to make the inputs and the tools of agriculture more affordable, which will help to bring down the cost of operations, or the operation cost, and that in and of itself would go a far way in improving the level of competitiveness of these farmers and their produce. You have some ideas. You could perhaps develop on them a little more, but happy to be able to share them with our listeners and viewers at home and abroad. This one says, Mr. Malcolm, I tell you what, hold on. Let's go to the phone lines. 876, we're going to come back to your messages, but we have callers holding as well. Bear with us. 876-922-411-225. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for your patience. Go ahead,
please. Yes, Mr. Malcolm, sending these kids to school is like sending canaries into a coal mine. I mean, we know the risk And with the most recent spikes, I mean, you can expect the numbers to be exponential. I mean, the government, the school system, they do know how to do math and algebra. I mean, so the risk is very high, and I don't think we should put these kids, at risk like that. I mean, basically, what the government's saying, hey, this is the easy way out. Let's sacrifice some kids.
No, the government is not saying let's sacrifice.
No, I mean, basically, that's the bottom line. Why not?
Which government anywhere in the world would want the records to show that they engaged in sacrificing children? No, man. No one
would want to show. I mean, what are they basically doing? I mean, the kids are at risk. They're not vaccinated and so forth. I mean, the intentions would be.
The children are not likely to be vaccinated maybe until about 2 years' time. So what do we do? What do we do in the meantime?
What are we willing to risk then?
No. I'm saying the children are not likely to be vaccinated until at least 2 years from now. Mm-hmm. What do we do in the meantime?
Well, the way we're going now, we're going to increase the numbers of infected people. By sending these children.
My concern is that whatever we do, I'm not taking any position. I'm saying whatever we do, let us ensure that learning never stops for our children. Whatever we do, however we do it, it requires creative thinking, as our national pledge says, to think creatively and honestly, etc., etc. Creative thinking. We're supposed to be smart people. Let us smartly manage whatever the situation is. But whatever we do, we cannot put our children's education on hold. That must not happen.
I agree. But then there's the alternative. We are beginning to do virtual learning. Why shouldn't we make that the top priority? Get the infrastructure in place, get digital flow or whatever to buy into making sure that this infrastructure is in place so we can get into that, as far as virtual learning. Right now, I mean...
The children themselves will tell you, by the way, we have heard them, that they get more out of face-to-face contact.
Right. But what if it was no longer available? What if that option was no longer available? And if we continue to increase the numbers, the option will no longer be available.
Yeah, we just need to be meticulous, scientific, and design oriented in our approach. Scientific, meticulous, and design oriented. As long as we are operating along those lines, we should be able to effectively manage the education of our children.
Yeah, because basically the way it stands, you're putting more poor people at risk than those that have resources to that have that infrastructure, that has the ability to pay for Wi-Fi and the electronic learning tools. So, like I said, once again, we're putting these kids just like canaries in a coal mine. See what happens, And I mean, I'm sorry, the management is beginning to damage. I mean, it seems like the management, within the government, within the school system, is basically damagers of the system. And
what has led you to that conclusion?
Number one, the fact that we are going into the we're sort of forced into the phase of virtual learning, and the risk is transporting people, specifically children, to schools for face to face, and these children are traveling quite long distance.
All right, stick a pin there, Dr. Paris Leowai, if you've heard the name before, of the Mona Informatics, Geoinformatics at the UWI. They did a mapping, a thorough, and you perhaps might want to look at that, a thorough mapping of all our school districts across the country. the distance, the location certain communities are from the school, where most of the students come from, etc., etc. It is based on that data. It's based on that data that the decisions are made as to which institutions. It's a handful of schools, actually. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Both sides of the story.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm, and join in a series of discussions on building a strong relationship with your child. We invite children to call in and voice their concerns. This broadcast is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. Biomed Pharmacy, Marhan's Pharmacy, and Cumberland Medical. That's a live broadcast of Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm at 3:30 p.m. Listen to every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
And guide us, we pray, Jaman. Give us all your blessings and help us, we pray, Jaman.
So to be fair to the decision makers, before they made the decision, they got the experts from the Mona Geoinformatics Institute to do the mapping so that schools that are selected are embedded in communities. They're in communities where most of the students are from those communities. They can walk, or if they have to take transportation, it's not too far away from home, etc. All of these factors, you perhaps might want to get your hand on that study just to make the point that they didn't just choose schools willy-nilly, that there was a scientific, meticulous, and design-oriented approach. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm still here. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What I mean, are the communities, the hillside communities, the farming communities, are they figured into this equation? I mean, a lot of
that's what I'm saying. It's the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has the listings. We have about 800 public primary schools and about 167 or so public high schools, plus more than 2,500 early childhood institutions. So the mapping was comprehensive. It didn't leave out any institution or any area. All the areas where schools were taken into consideration. If you notice, a lot of schools in the corporate area have not reopened. And for those who reopened, they are only accommodating grades 11 through 13. 11, 12, 13.
Right.
That's the same group of students, in a sense. Well, not the same group. The same cohort of students who were brought back first when the government initially announced resumption of face-to-face school coming. The students that they brought back into the school were the grades 11, 12, and 13 to prepare for their CSEC exams, essentially.
Okay. All right. I mean, but it just seems like
No, your concern is not out of place. Your concern is very well placed, and we understand the concern.
The risk of exposure is still high. I mean, traveling from home to school and then coming among other kids in school, and a good majority of kids are arriving at school via taxi. So it's going to be hard to contain this virus if we
No, I get the point here. As I said, you're not off. We are concerned all of us should be concerned about our children. I mean, it's bad enough as adults, we're supposed to be able to take care of ourselves, and we're not doing such a pretty good job by the numbers, right? Much less the children. So the concern is very, very well placed. What we are suggesting though is that whatever we do, the fact is COVID-19 has already been with us for almost a year now.
Yes,
almost a year. By the 10th of March, it would be 1 year exactly since the first confirmed case. And from all indications, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So this is where now we have to dig deep into the recesses of our minds to come up with ideas, creative ways of minimizing transmission and maximizing learning as far as our children are concerned. And so that's really what we're saying. Let's just, whatever we do, let's make the decisions in the best interest of our children, which would mean their health and safety, etc.
And I think at this point, these have to be hard decisions that have to be made in regards to what we're willing to risk, and and how we're going to mitigate that. It's sort of like our efforts for conservation and environment. We said let's no more plastic straws. Darn it, no more plastic bags or whatever. It happened. We made a hard decision to implement certain controls, and we have to live with it.
Yeah.
So I think we have to have that same type of
mentality
effort in doing that, and we have to at this point begin to hold organizations like Flow and Digicel, the big corporations and so forth that advertise to everyone. Let's somehow get them partnered into making this thing happen. I mean, like I said, there are a lot of communities that just don't have the Wi-Fi, and some that have Wi-Fi is shaky at most.
Yes.
And
yeah, that's the point we're making essentially, and which you're supporting. We need all hands on deck, whatever it takes to keep the teaching and learning exercise going. Let us do it. Let's do it. Got you. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
I'm calling from Junction.
Welcome. Junction, is that in St. Elizabeth?
Yes, man.
Right.
I overheard you talking about the London Eye this morning.
Yes.
I had the opportunity of going on it.
Yes. Well, lucky you. I was on it as well. I did a Facebook Live from the London Eye. That was fun.
Okay. Well, I was in Canada, and along with my daughter and her two sons, and we went across to, and I had the opportunity of going on it. But I would look down because I was afraid of, like, I turned, so I look out in the water.
Yes. No, it really is an engineering marvel. Really is. The wheel never stops, but people are getting on and getting off at different points. That's just remarkable. And as I said, when I experienced that, all I could think about was life. That's how life is. People are coming and going. People are being born. Babies are being born, and people are dying, and so on and so forth. People being born, people dying, and life continuing. Life keeps going. Life, it's not stopping. Life is not stopping to wait on people.
It's an ongoing process,
and it's right. It's also it reminds us of time as well, as the song says. Time waits on no man.
No man.
Right. So it's either if you're coming, you're coming. If you're going, you're going. Make up your mind because time is marching on. Yes.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Malcolm.
Thank you for calling and sharing your experience on the London Eye.
Okay, thanks.
All the best. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website. Go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's see who else is messaging us this afternoon. Good afternoon to Rose Tyrell. Thank you for joining us. Soraya Sinclair reminds us that AuthenticJA.com is a Jamaican marketplace. Well, Soraya, if you want to talk about your Jamaican marketplace, you can always inbox us, as they say, or text us and give us the information, because one of the things we do on this program is to encourage entrepreneurship. We love to support entrepreneurs. So if this is your operation, your enterprise as an entrepreneur, let's talk about it. 876-365-3346. Would be happy to give you more than just a mention by reading your message. After all, Inez Campbell Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for tuning in. Faye Weller, blessed love to you too. Evangelist Sandra Fraser, good afternoon. Greetings to you. Sandra Gibson in Florida, good afternoon to you too. Sylviana Johnson says, nothing is wrong with delay, Mr. Malcolm. Teaching and learning will always go on, but safety first. You're missing the point, Sylviana. You're missing the point. If you say, what delay are you talking about? No, we're not going to delay the learning experience of our children. That's the point we're making. There is no need to delay the learning experience of our children. Our children we must help them to fashion the mentality that learning goes on. That's the point we're making. It's a mentality that learning continues no matter what. So we don't say to our children, don't worry yourself about school. School, where wait till when school open back, then you can go back to school. As if that is the limit of their education. No. Learning is broader than that. Learning is much broader than that, Sylviana Johnson. We're saying, what delay are you talking about? That's like stopping a child who is doing so well, and you say, hold on, COVID-19 and everything happening, just no bother with the learning again. Just easy. Just wait until school when COVID pass. No, we don't do that. Who does that? No, learning continues. Learning continues. And if you are listening to what I said, Sylviana Johnson, then you wouldn't come away with this position at all. The point we're making is, I say to the children all the time, don't worry about the adults. Adults will always debate and cuss and exchange ideas and argue and all of that. Don't worry about them. You just stay laser focused on your education. All of what's happening around you, young people, is a part of your schooling. That's all a part of your schooling. All we're saying to the young people, as Mark Twain said, he never allowed his schooling to interfere with his education. So don't let your schooling stop you from continuing your education. Because we live in a world now where delay, now more than ever, delay is danger. Delay is danger. So you say delay in face-to-face, just use the technology until it is safe to do so. But what if there are schools, and there are, that have been safely, along with their staff and students, navigating their environment? They're not in the belly of the spread. They're not in the belly. Remember, we said Mona Geoinformatics Institute did a mapping. They did a mapping of all schools across Jamaica. Not that they didn't have a map before, but they drilled down to proximity, numbers, how much space the school has, what's the capacity of the school to be able to space out the furniture, etc. I'm just saying, if they didn't do this, people like you and me would be saying, how them just make a decision like that? We always say on this program that we have to take a scientific, meticulous, design-oriented approach to management and solving our problems. The more of that we do, the better the decisions we will make. That's the idea. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:30.
Both sides of the story.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, and join in a series of discussions on building a strong relationship with your child. We invite children to call in and voice their concerns. This broadcast is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. Biomed Pharmacy, Marhan's Pharmacy, and Cumberland Medical. That's a live broadcast of Kids Connect during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm at 3:30 p.m. Listen to every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM. Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. Biomed Pharmacy, Marhan's Pharmacy, and Cumberland Medical.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And welcome to this week's edition of Kids Connect, where we tackle issues especially having to do with our children. And we're happy to have joining us all we've been talking about since this afternoon is the state of affairs with respect to our children and face-to-face classes with the technology, mixing it or scrapping one and going with the other, etc. And we were saying earlier on that we are happy that more alumni associations are stepping up and coming forward and helping to find solutions as we keep our children learning. We cannot afford for them to stop learning. We must help them to fashion a mindset to keep learning no matter what. And so we're delighted to be joined at this time by Executive Chef Mark Cole. No, he's not going to be talking with us about the Pegasus and what the Pegasus has on offer, but he's going to be talking about his school. Chef Mark Cole, Executive Chef Mark Cole. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dervan. I'm doing good and I'm actually doing well.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us here on Kids Connect on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM.
Okay.
Well, here we go. Tell us about your roots. Where in Jamaica are you from, Chef Cole?
Well, I'm actually from St. Mary in a community called Days Mountain.
Say that again. Days,
D-A-Y-S, Days Mountain.
Days Mountain, okay.
Right. So when we do our address back in the days, we used to say Days Mountain, a Rockabetta PO. So a Rockabetta was more common, so popular, so we had to put a Rockabetta. That's where the mailing box was.
Oh.
Right. So and a Rockabetta is one of the benchmarks for Rockabetta is James Bond Beach. So it's pretty close. It's right in that same vicinity there.
Mm-hmm. And where did you go to school?
Well, I went to a Rockabetta Primary and then I went to a Rockabetta High.
And how long has it been since you last touched base with anybody having anything to do with any of these two schools you attended?
Well, over the years, I've tried to always touch base back with the school. I've gone there and done cooking demonstration, cooking classes, and matter of fact, I've actually done a cooking class there for Grace back in the days, which had sponsored some equipment to the home economic class.
Nice.
And I did that demonstration a couple of years ago.
I see.
So I always try to go back and do some form of stuff there.
No, I'm not going to put this one at your feet, but one of the things we know is that most of us get excited about our high schools more than our primary schools. And there's a concern that we do more for our high schools than for our primary schools.
And that is true. That is true. And I think you have to do it. It's the last bit of memory that you have about schooling, and it's always the high school. Your memory for primary school is very limited for some people. I would assume.
Yes. And I think to some extent, most of us spend more time in the high school.
Definitely.
I think so. Yes, that's part of it. And you would have been more developed. Other than children, you don't necessarily remember a lot of the baby in inverted commas stuff, but you're more likely to remember the things that you did as teenagers at school.
The only thing I remember about my primary school is when I went to get a vaccine and I crushed my finger on the school gate and lose my thumb.
Ouch! Oh!
I always remember that.
Oh no!
So let's hope I'm getting a vaccine this time around. I don't have to go to a school to get it.
Oh well. Speaking of school, let's talk about school in terms of Aracabessa High School, because you have managed to get together with some of your former schoolmates or classmates, depending on the situation, to support, to give back to your school. What prompted the move? How did this get going? And what they say on Facebook these days, how it started, and then tell us how it's going.
This initiative started by a gentleman by the name of, we call him Principal Scott. He's one of the former students. We're from the class of 89.
Yes.
And he started a WhatsApp group, and which lead from 4 persons within a week to 96 persons.
Whoa.
And we find that it was such amazing that we were not allowed to text anything in the group. We were allowed to voice note in the group. And within 3 weeks, we all said, well, this is a massive group. What can we do? And we said, let's do something for our school. And we're talking about spa students from who are living now in England, Cayman Islands, a lot in the States, all over in the States, Canada, in the entire Caribbean. And so it's a good amount of people. So we said, all right, we wanted to do something right away. At the same time, it came around in August that we need to assist the school with some tablet back to school for September. And I can tell you, Dervan, within less than 2 weeks, we're able to accumulate that amount of cash. So we're able to buy 21 tablets, which we're going to be distributing to the school this Friday.
Oh, that's quite something. Now, so those tablets have been sourced already?
Yes, they have been sourced, they're shipped, and the thing about it too is that the government also have a program. Once you have any form of
donation,
charity or donation, then you go through that government program, and then you don't have to pay the duties. You only pay like the environmental tax and storage fee and stuff like that. You don't have to pay any other duties. Yes, we have to ship it in and all of that. So the government does have a program set up for that, and with that, the government also assists with putting system in place that when we send it to the schools and distribute it to the schools, the tablets are properly monitored. They just don't go to the school and give it to a kid, and then the kid lose it. It's properly monitored and under control.
Oh, that's
so that it's a perfect program that they have for that.
Yeah. The debate rages on in terms of whether we should have a mix of face-to-face and online learning, or just go straight online and keep the children at home, or to allow those who are in relatively safe communities as far as COVID-19 is concerned and having all the resources to do face-to-face. Have you given any thought to any of this? What do you think?
I've given some thought to it, Dervan, because actually I was watching an CSI a couple nights ago.
Yes.
And there was these kids that were homeschooled, and their eating habits become so bad, and they weren't allowed to play outside. So by the time they were 14, 16, they have diabetes.
Uh-oh.
Massive diabetes. Some has to do surgery and all. So it is good I think it should be a mix, probably a 40-60 ratio. So, they need to do their physical education. When we go into school, for this physical education was twice a week, and that was mandatory, plus farming.
Yes.
And farming is physical education. You have to be in the sun and farm and all of those things. So, those things are actually good stuff for the kids.
Is it that area appealed to you when you were at Rockabessa High School farming?
It was. I had to do it. With a principal at that time by the name of Mr. Buck. If you miss up on that, then you're going to get the cane. There's no if or but if you're going to get cane. You're going to get cane.
And when you look at the last time you went to, I see Lisa Brown Campbell online saying, "Way to go, Uncle Mark." Okay. So when you for the last time you went to school, to Rockabessa High School, did you notice anything else that you think perhaps you might want to look at going forward in terms of a
when we went
project?
there, actually, we see that the school definitely needs some painting from the entrance all the way to the auditorium. And we call ourselves class of 89.
Oh, 89.
Yeah, so we call ourselves 89ers. So what we're planning to do is in the summer, once COVID calmed down a bit and we're seeing the light of the day, then we're definitely going to be doing some other projects around there. We're looking to paint the school inside the classroom, try and redo the bathrooms and stuff like that. So those are in the pipeline and planning stages.
So you were able to get together, you said, after a while, more than 96.
96. We're now 96 members on the WhatsApp group.
Right. And I'm still trying to see how were you able to mobilize the resources and then to channel the resources towards the tablets.
What happened is this: my twin brother live in Orlando, and so Western Union, they have all these hubs that you can transfer money on.
Yes.
So within 2 weeks, all the money was in his account. And you have to give a little update every night or every day on this chat group.
Yes.
And then when we decided to buy the tablets, we couldn't get any tablet at all. Tablet was scarce. So then we found somebody in Japan that able to have a link that didn't work out. Then one day we realized there was a big sale on Amazon. And when I said sale, it wasn't cheap. They was just available.
Oh.
So we gravitate to that, and that's how we get those tablets all at once. Because it was very. After getting the money, it took us at least 6 weeks to get the tablet.
My word!
We could not locate any tablet because tablet was shot worldwide.
Yeah, because the demand is high right now.
The demand was so high,
and obviously the price.
And these ones that we get are really nice ones.
I wanted to ask you that as well. Did you get some kind of specifications as to the type of tablets?
It's really nice ones. I don't have the specs in my head right now, Dervan. I'll call and give you some more information on it. But these are the very good ones that come with a chip. So wherever you are, you're able to use it. And I think they're 10 inches. Yeah, I think they're 10 inches tablets. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
And we did what we did was when we spoke with the principal and the vice principal, we asked them, we just don't want to give kids the tablet because they're there to give. The kid have to be performing,
at a certain level.
Yeah, the scores have to be good, and also they have to be very active in not only just their schoolwork, but very
extracurricular activities.
They have to want to be a part of the school. Not just a school goer. And we also look on the less fortunate persons that are doing those kind of things that really need it. So we had a system that we put in place, and we're very happy with the principal and the vice principal, the two vice principals there. So we're looking forward for Friday morning at 11. Or one of our minister, which is Bobby Montague, Minister Montague.
Is MP around that area as well?
Yeah, the MP in that area. So he'll be in attendance to help us to do the ceremony for these kids.
Well, one more before I let you go, though. How about? Well, it's still. I think you've answered the question somewhat, but it would still be a little tough. I mean, others are going to get jealous, other students, because it's only 21. So you know what that means.
So we need all our Rockabessa high school students, wherever you are, to try and come up and donate something. Remember, it's 96 of us. And everybody, some people give $10 US, some people give $20, some people get 1,500 Jamaican, some people get 1,000. I think one guy give $100. So every the grandmother said every little make a what?
Every mickle make a muckle.
Exactly. And we're able to purchase these 21 devices that these kids are now able to stay at home. You know the good thing about this too, though, Dervan. 21 tablets for 21 kids. That doesn't mean that there's only 21 kids gonna use it, Because if they're not also with another brother and another sister, they're able to utilize the project.
True.
So you probably might looking at over to 60 person using the 21. Yeah.
One moment, don't move. 1 moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Executive Chef Mark Cole is our guest on Kids Connect. No, he's not the kid. He used to be one. This week's edition of Kids Connect, but his schoolmates got together and raised enough funds to acquire some 21 tablet computers for students of current students of Orocabessa High School in St. Mary, more specifically the class of 89. The class of 89. The 89ers, they're the ones who got together. Does this necessarily mean that the school itself doesn't have an alumni association, an active alumni association, Executive Chef Mark Cole?
I know they have one, which is a couple guys that are way above our group. And we're looking to do one that is going to be more active. But if I was to say yes, I'm aware of one that is very, very active, I would not have that answer.
I see. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. So now, what do you say to those listening to us at home and abroad? Maybe they are past students of Orocabessa High School. Maybe they know of people who are past students of Orocabessa High School, and perhaps they, having heard you this afternoon, they want to connect. They want to be a part of this experience of giving back to Orocabessa High School. What do you suggest they do?
I would suggest two things. You can get in touch with the 89ers. It is very up and active, and then we'll advise you as to how you can do your contribution. Or you can go, you know Leo Gillen, right? Leo Gillen is a past student of the Orocabessa High School.
Yeah, who doesn't know Leo Gillen?
Right, and who doesn't know Leo Gillen, right? So you can get in touch with Leo, and Leo will advise you how we can also donate stuff to the school. Or if not, you can call straight to the school. You know what I mean? I was talking to the principal a few days ago, and she was like, Chef, reach out, because there's kids that really need this stuff. And I know that some of you guys have tablets just sitting on their house that a kids pass, not using anymore. You know, it doesn't have to be brand new. Once it's working, you know, you can donate it to the school. And it's not only electronic device. Anything that you can do to assist the kids, paint the school, to the bathrooms, anything at all that is very much possibly in your reach to assist the kids, we would really are grateful for that assistance.
Well, we're grateful to you on behalf of the children, you and the other members of the group who have pooled your resources.
89ers.
The 89ers.
Yeah,
well
and
done.
I want to use this opportunity, Dervan, to thank all the 89ers. I don't want to start calling names because I might get into trouble, but I'll probably say Principal Scotty, Eda, Alva, Natalie, couple of the guys who are very, very active. I want to say, guys, keep up the good work. The initiative is great, and we can only help Jamaica to raise the bar to a better world, a better education, and the sky's the limit.
Well said, well done. Congratulations again to you and the 89ers of Orocabessa High School, Executive Chef Mark Cole. Well done. All the best.
Thank you, Dervan.
And let's see, perhaps, who knows, perhaps on Friday, when you would have made the presentation, we could have another word with you.
That would be great.
Let's look forward to that.
Idea. Yeah.
All the best. Take care.
Thank
Executive Chef Mark Cole of the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, and obviously of Orocabessa High School, getting together with the other members of the class of 89 to to give back to Aracabessa High School. 21 tablet computers. Well done, class of 89.
Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm was brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. Viomed Pharmacy, Marhan's Pharmacy, and Cumberland Medical.
Yeah. And women were made to feel.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876 365 3346. And I said that because Rascarver is calling us on that line right now. Let's see. Let's go to these. Let's clear these messages first that have been coming in since the last time we checked. And here we go. Let's pick it up from here. This one. Sylviana Johnson says, delay in face-to-face just to use the technology until it is safe to do so. Schloss Roland asks, what's the theme of the conversation here? If you keep listening, Schloss Roland, you will hear. Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much. Errol in New Jersey says, good day, Dervan. And the listening world, the words are, if you delay or stop the world will pass you by. If you delay or stop, the world will pass you by. Thank you, Errol in New Jersey. Lorraine says, good afternoon, Sir D. All is well. We're giving thanks for life, Lorraine. Thank you very much. Lisa Brown Campbell, as we said, was congratulating her uncle, Uncle Mark, she says. Neville Solomon says, Dervan, you seem to be supporting the government for the face-to-face classes. What I've noticed with you, you support anything that this government does. Neville Solomon, I have three things to say to you in that respect. A man can only understand according to his level of understanding. That's number one. Number two, there is nothing more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. And number three, the Persian apothegm, the one before that was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The Persian apothegm says, he who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool. Avoid him. He who knows not and knows that he knows not is a student. Teach him. He who knows and knows not that he knows is asleep. Wake him. He who knows and knows that he knows is a wise man. Follow him. Hope you got that, Neville Solomon. Thank you very much for your message. Sandra Gibson says, awesome, great work, Mark, in reference to Mark Cole's work, along with the class of 89 for Aracabessa High School. Sloss Roland says, I must say I appreciate the host and guests for your sincerity. However, what sorts of approaches in proposed new solutions to teach native skills, history, and culture in school? The schooling continues, Sloss Roland. Students are learning history and culture and developing skills and learning skills, etc. That hasn't stopped. Thank you for your message. Inez Campbell Brown, Errol in New Jersey, thank you very much. And someone called Ever Bless. Thank you for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Richie Nebar had initially called us, but apparently he was unable to wait any longer, and so he missed out. I'm not sure if he was on. If he was on, I think he was calling us on WhatsApp. Feel free to call back Richie Nibar, except that you're not going to get through now because Raskava is on the line. Let's hear what Raskava's contribution is today. Greetings, Raskava.
Yes, sir. Greetings to you too. And I don't intend to make a contribution.
What do you say? Attribution then? How's that?
Yeah, man. That's higher than con.
All right.
Some words you have to get rid of them, because we get them from education.
No, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Wishful thinking.
Well, I just love to congratulate Mr. Mark Cole for what he's doing on behalf.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear you the first time.
I said I want to congratulate Mr. Mark Cole.
Congratulate?
No, congratulate.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Congratulate is good. He's doing a grand work of it.
Yes, indeed he is. He and the class of 89.
Only that he wished the kids to benefit, which he won't reach the children if the kids them have it, because they won't tap up on it, all kind of stuff. But
I'm going to ask management if we can change the name, because I'm going to tell them that Raskava keeps reminding us that there are children, not kids. So let's see if I can get management to change the name.
Because kids is to animalize our children. Yeah. And when they grow up and don't want to be fleet-footed and giddy-headed and busybody like the kid, then they call themselves dog, which the characteristics of the dog come out in them. So we need to start calling our little ones, if we don't want to let them remain as picking or picnic children, call them prince or princesses, which they look forward to that title, that rather than calling them kids, which I said animalizing them. But we need a lot of more persons like Mr. Mark, who remember the journey he tried to reach where he reached, that he can really give forward in return then things that others can benefit it, that he never had the chance of benefiting when he was going to Akabesa.
And this is it. This is all we have been saying this afternoon, pretty much. But some people don't get it. What we have been saying is let's do whatever we can to keep the learning going. That's all we have been saying. There are different methods, different options, different possibilities. Some are being employed now. Maybe there's more to come. Whatever we do, just ensure that our children continue to learn. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, man, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And as I listen, certain little things keep pricking my ego.
Your ego?
Yeah.
Tell us.
One of them is education can also be education. And your education solely depends on the ability of the educator. So the educator...
I'm listening. Sorry, go ahead.
So the educator's ability is not within the scope to even better than your experience, which is your truth. You in turn will have to be teaching the educator.
Well, and let me help you there. Wise educators don't shy away from or shut up or dumb down students who are expressing themselves and sharing their knowledge and experience. It's supposed to be a two-way street. It's a teaching and learning exercise. It's supposed to be reciprocal. We know that there are some teachers who will shut down students just like that.
Yes.
Which is not necessarily, everything is relative, but I get the point you're making, that if the educator is limited, has a limited capacity, then if you're not careful as a student of that educator, your learning would then become limited within the limitations of that educator's education.
Yes, to put it in the correct terminology, but in the layman term, I was saying that if the educator's ability to teach the children to the level that the children can go and become an educator, a positive educator, then the children will end up with a education instead of knowledge. Because if you are knowledgeable, you don't need education. And your experience is your truth. Each one reach one, and each one teach one.
Yes.
And the students' experience would not be the educator's experience. So, said me get beaten at school, the teacher talk about natural. I say, yes, teacher, I say when we call nose, and the woman give me a piece of beating.
Oh, no.
I say, why? We born in a deep rural. Why you nose big like?
Hold on, one moment, Raskava, one moment.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
Both sides of the story.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm, and join in a series of discussions on building a strong relationship with your child. We invite children to call in and voice their concerns. This broadcast is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. Biomed Pharmacy, Marhan's Pharmacy, and Cumberland Medical. That's a live broadcast of Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm at 3:30 p.m. This and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM.
On a good girl and help her meet greater man.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:02. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:02. 现在几点了？4点02分。2 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now's a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106. So, Raskava, you got a good whipping for referring to the nostrils as nose.
Yes, Brethren, trust me, and I cannot forget that. However, I still respect Miss Rochester, because she was the same teacher who taught me to round and let your tongue round up and twist up to say this poem: good, better, best.
Never let it rest till
feel good, be better, and you're better, best.
Yes.
And I would never forget that about her. I hope she's doing well. We're not part in her earth she is today.
Yes.
And I will just start by saying, let no one or no thing stop you from your positive learning.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. A woman too.
That's a rather irreverent conclusion to the call, Raskava. Thank you very much. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. The very patient Miss Olive, she has been holding since 2:30 this afternoon. And here she is again, calling back for about the third time. Good afternoon, Miss Olive.
No, Dervan. I called, just as I called, a call was coming in for me. So I had to cut off that call. Anyway, you know something, Rascal is my kind of guy, you know.
That sounds like you should get together. But that sound we're hearing, Miss Olive, is not our kind of sound, though. What is that?
Let's turn off the fan. It could be the fan.
Oh, dear.
Okay?
All right, please do. The fan is off now?
Yes, please. You still hearing anything?
Oh, no, that's better. Yeah, so it was the fan. Sorry, it was the fan.
Yeah, the fan. Yeah, I usually turn it off. Yeah, but I'm here watching football and I was listening to Mr. Trump's story, but I couldn't deal with him lawyer, so I just turned to football. Yes, as I was saying, Raskava is my kind of guy. Every time I hear they talk about kids, of course, why them keep calling our children goat? Not that anything is wrong with a goat, you know, because a goat is very smart.
Yes.
But we don't have goat, we have children. And as he rightly say, if you don't want to call them children when they reach a certain age, you call them pickney, or if you don't want to call them pickney, you call them princess and princes and things like that. I totally agree with him. And the con word there. Every time I hear him, I say it off a laugh. Yeah, you can't manage Dervan, you can't manage me. You can't manage him at all. Anyway, I need to shift the focus a little bit on the JUTC situation.
Yes.
There was a big discussion about them losing money. And as I've said to you before, please, I don't know why them don't stop saying that. They are causing themselves to lose money. When I used to take, as I told you before, I stopped taking the buses now because I can't manage the step-up thing. So I have to stay at the hospital when I have my appointment until when my daughter leave work at 5 o'clock, and then she take me home. But sometimes when I used to take the bus, if I stand up at the 20, I am in Portmore Pines, so I take the 20 route. And I will be standing up there forever, and you don't see a 20 pass. So I would take a taxi from my bus stop up to one of the bus stops where all the Portmore buses pass that stop. Up by, I think you have some banks, Scotia Bank and whatnot, up that side. And I will take anything going to town, I will go on it and reach town. And then take a taxi now from the bus stop on Orange Street over to KPH or something. No, I usually walk. It's a good walk, but I walk. But when you stand up and see if you want to get a bus to town, you see 3 coming going to Halfway Tree. Nobody going to town. Or if you want to go to Halfway Tree, you get the opposite. 3 going to town, nobody going to Halfway Tree. Then when you reach downtown now, around by Ward Theatre, a number of buses sit down around there doing nothing. So according to what they said, there was a discussion on the radio the other day, and they say they go around there to change staff and this, that, and the other. But you can change the staff at the bus stop. When you're in America and Canada, you know, Dervan, as you well know, there is a sign on the post at the bus stop. Every bus stop have a sign as at the time that the bus is going to reach that stop. And you can rest assured, when you look on your watch, if the bus is coming at 2:31, when you look, you see the bus coming. And if you want to take a bus going one way and then take another bus going the other way, you have a transfer. You pay one fare, you put in your card, and you sort transfer, and you go to the stop where that bus is passing, and you put your transfer thing in, and you go where you're going. In Canada, if you take the train, same thing. When you take the bus and you come off of the train station, where the bus terminates at the train station, you see the train coming and you step into the train and you don't pay no more because you don't pay already. That is how they make money, Dervan. They're wasting time and talking about them not making no money. How can you be running 3 buses, one behind and empty?
Part of the problem is that we're expecting them to make money. Public transportation doesn't make money.
No, I know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking about they're losing
But they
money.
need to maximize their earnings for sure. They need to maximize their earnings. Yes.
Exactly. The thing, time thing. Time is the essence. You can't stand up at one bus stop 2-3 hours waiting for one bus. You're late to where you're going. I talked to you the other day already about the people, the blind people who was going up to thing them up by the where they not blind, where you call it visually impaired, and the thing. And the people them was late for them where they were going because them had to wait until the bus go up to there so and come back down to town. That don't make no sense, Dervan. Them need to have more. All the buses supposed to be, I'm saying it again, kneeling buses, because it's not only people with impaired sight and things like that. Take the bus, you have people in wheelchairs, and they must take them out of the wheelchair, lift them up, carry them in, roll up the wheelchair, put it in, climb up on the step with the wheelchair, and all them foolish. When you can't have the kneeling buses, you just wheel on the chair and you go on where you're going. And it take up less time. Jamaican people really waste too much time and we chat too much. And whatever we're saying, no, half hour we're saying, make no sense. We need to change our attitude, Dervan, and do better with the bus. And better they will do better. Just change up the system and how them run the buses.
It all boils down to management. Management. That's really what it boils down to. Management. One would hope that those who are appointed or employed to manage the affairs of the JUTC have the competence to be able to do so, and that competence would be reflected in the performance of the JUTC.
That's right. In the discussion I was listening to the other day, this man in charge of the bus, he was making all kind of excuses, lame excuses as far as I am concerned, because he was trying to tell you why the bus late and why the bus this and why the bus that. Organize the buses route by route, time by time, and say, okay, if you get to the bus stop 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, there's a bus coming to pick you up to carry you where you're going. People late for work because that is why so much tax on the road, and the taxi them running everybody off of the road because them think that you don't know where you're going. Only them alone going, and them only place them going is Dovecot in a hurry. You understand? So we need to change our way of thinking with the transportation system, and I bet you will get a better turnout. Thank you, Dervan. Have
Thanks
a good
as
one.
usual. You too. Take care.
Okay, man.
Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Some more messages now. Mr. Malcolm, while countries around the world are seeing a decrease in COVID cases, the disease is galloping by leaps and bounds in Jamaica. This is because of the indiscipline of the Jamaican people. And if all these indisciplined people here on the airwaves and elsewhere every day is their rights to do as they please and nothing about responsibility, there shouldn't be a surprise when they act irresponsibly and continue to spread this disease left, right, and center. Mr. Malcolm, these are unusual times, and it's time the people who have the bullhorn start emphasizing responsibility rather than bombarding the airwaves with rights, rights, and more rights. Well, we need to know our rights, but we equally need to know our responsibility. Thank you very much. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, Mr. Malcolm, good afternoon. I hope you and your listeners far and near are keeping safe and well. We in England are getting some heavy snow in parts of the country, and we start our draconian rules this coming Monday when people from 33 countries on the government's list, which is classified as high risk, will have to quarantine in a hotel chosen by the government. Those people will have to pay £1,750 each. And if anyone found And if anyone is found lying about where they are coming from, they will face a fine of between 500 and 10,000 pounds plus up to 10 years in prison. This has just been announced by Matt Hancock, the health minister. This is going to have an effect on the airline industry. I think this very harsh, however, I think this is very harsh. However, it's to keep out the various strains of the virus coming into the country, such as the African strain. We have 1,052 COVID-19 deaths in 24 hours and 13,850 new cases. So sorry to hear of the situation there. Thank you very much, though, H. Morgan, for sharing.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security is advising the public that the telephone lines located at its office at 14 National Hero Circle, Kingston 4 are now fully operational. Clients and customers can now call 876-922-8000 to 14 to access the various services offered by the Social Security Division. The ministry thanks you for your patience during the extended period that the telephone lines were not working. That was a public service announcement from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Tune in to Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First San in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First San team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First San in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First San Jamaica Limited, the first on the land. COVID-19 has effectively changed our way of life, and to combat the pandemic, it's crucial that we focus on cutting-edge strategies to maintain proper sanitization, hygiene, and public health. Learn more about these cutting-edge strategies and get vital information that can help the individual and various sectors of society operate and thrive in the new normal by listening to the feature Maintenance Matters, airing every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. during Power Talk with Ronnie Thwaites. Maintenance Matters is brought to you by Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited, with head offices at 1 Eureka Road, Kingston 5. Telephone 876-920-4721-5. Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited. Get more than clean, get hygiene. That's Maintenance Matters during Power Talk, every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Who's gonna sway and show them the way, the man? Make this an everlasting example. We pray, the man, yeah.
Thanks a lot. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:17. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:17. 现在几点了？4点17分. 17 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day at school. Put another way, a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Natalie in Porus says, good afternoon, my radio teacher. Good afternoon, Natalie in Porus, Manchester. Reverend Parkinson, Reverend Iselin Parkinson says, good day, Dervan. My concern is about the matter that is now before Parliament re the abortion law. How can we think about allowing a child to be able to do an abortion without parents' knowledge? Why don't we educate our children more on abstinence and moral values? When someone does an abortion, it does not just go there. It does not just go. It does not just go. There are emotional scars that remain. I will only agree to abortion if both lives are at risk. It's murder and does not give us that right. Iselin Parkinson. Thank you very much for your perspective, Iselin Parkinson, Reverend Iselin Parkinson. Thanks for your message. Also messaging us, and good afternoon to Joan in Bermuda. Good afternoon to you, Mrs. Richardson. We haven't had an opportunity to respond to your message, but that's great. Thank you very much for the update. Thank you. Thank you very much. Excellent choice, Mrs. Richardson. Caval in St. Catherine says, greetings, Dervan and the listeners of Power 106. I'm imploring the powers that be to pay some urgent attention to Old Harbor Road in the vicinity of the roundabout to the traffic light by the high school off Old Harbor Road. This particular road is used morning, noon, and night by hundreds of thousands of commuters. And I'm sure you mean motorists as well, right? Dervan, if something is not done urgently about the potholes on this stretch of road, we're going to hear in the news or read in the newspapers about the worst ever multiple vehicular accident in Jamaica. The taxi, truck, and other indisciplined drivers of private motor vehicles, in their bid to avoid the potholes, drive in the right lane as if they are in the United States, forcing other motorists off the road. Mr. Malcolm, it is a nightmare traversing this particular section of Old Harbor Road, and this has been happening since we last year when we had the heavy rainfall. Caval in St. Catherine. Thank you for your message, Caval in St. Catherine. We're so sorry to hear. Sorry you missed an opportunity to catch Stephen Shaw this morning on the morning agenda to put to him this road. Not sure if he's listening now or anyone else from the National Works Agency. The concern is about Old Harbor Road and the potholes that have been there since the heavy rains last year. And Cavell is predicting and projecting and prognosticating that there are likely to be crashes, collisions, and perhaps even deaths on account of the state of the roadway and the driving choices that the motorists and other road users make. Over to the National Works Agency, NWA. This one says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for your message. And I think we're going to leave, hold on, did we miss one? We're going to leave the messages there for now and go to Cuban in Georgia on the text line, which doubles as the WhatsApp line. In fact, it's a WhatsApp call that Cuban in Georgia has made, and we're trying to make sure that you can hear him when he gets on. Good afternoon, Cuban in Georgia. Thank you very much for calling.
Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm, and thank you for your inviting me today. How are you doing, sir?
I'm giving thanks for life, and you?
I'm doing fantastic. I have to give God thanks every day, you know. So I heard your caller before just now was talking about the public transportation system. And I want to agree with her because if you have a transportation system, you're supposed to have like a pamphlet with the time and the date when the bus is going to appear at this bus stop. And then when you get the pamphlet, you know, if you go at the bus stop, like if the pamphlet says the bus is going to be there at 3:15 every day, Monday to Friday, and you get there at 3:20, you got to wait on the next bus that is coming at 3:30. And those buses, they don't stop and pick you up. If even they see you running towards the bus, they're not stopping. And if there's even one passenger in the bus is gonna go with the one passenger to the route and come back and do what, keep up the time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But that's not what I really called to talk about today. I really called to talk about a troubling issue that I see that is going on down there in Jamaica. It seems that both parties have neglected the upkeep and maintenance of the areas which there is a heavy concentration of Jamaicans of color. And it is very disturbing because these are the same people who when election time, they engage these people more than anyone else in the country. But when election is finished, and who is ever won, it's just like the same dilapidated communities, same no transportation. So the bathrooms are in a dilapidated state. Because, Sir Malcolm, I came to Jamaica like 2 years ago on the cruise ship, right? And when I go to the bathroom, when I go in the sea to wash off, and sometimes you want to relieve yourself, or you pay to go in these facilities that is run by the UDC. And when you go inside the bathroom, it's a very terrible situation in there. And I'm saying, if the tourists, because I hear the tourists them complaining too, because they're like you're a member of the crew, you know what I mean? And if there's any problem, they're gonna bring it to your attention. You know what I mean? I go in the bathroom and I see they don't even have a good flush toilet in the bathroom, and this is a public space for where tourists have to use. But what I found out is that the upkeep of the areas of where 95% of the colored Jamaicans live are the worst, in the worst condition in the country.
When did you commission that scientific study?
When did I commission that study?
Yes.
Okay. So look at downtown Kingston and West Kingston in particular. There is no system in place in that community, and that's a heavy political
What kind of system? What kind of system do you think should be in place that is not there now?
I mean, like, even if you're in the market and you want to relieve yourself, you can't, because there's no proper provisions provided by these politicians. And then the people, one guy said, they must, if it don't broke, you mustn't fix it. And
that's an American saying. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yes. And he's saying that if you put in decent bathroom for the Jamaican, the colored people, they're gonna mash it up.
Well, we have talked about bathroom matters before on this program, and we have found that wherever we have traveled in the world, and including on the aircraft, which across the world. From time to time, I have found myself doing bathroom duties because of how I was brought up. I was I was brought up in such a way that if an area is
No, in America they call it clean freak.
Yes. Yeah, well, I don't know about freak. That word is too freaky for me. One moment, please. One moment.
Is running out, but we need no one not to cry nor
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
The next person in line, your friend at school or your coworker, may have COVID-19 and not know because they have no symptoms. You, on the other hand, could be hospitalized for 2 months or more if you become infected. Is it worth it? Stay socially connected, but keep the physical distance. Stay 6 feet away and avoid a hospital stay. COVID-19 is not over. Protect yourself while protecting others. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
to suffer, yeah.
¿Qué hora es en espagnol? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在几点了？5点29分. 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Denville Martin says, I did not know that there are areas of color in Jamaica. I meant to ask you about that Cuban in Georgia, but you were running so fast. Areas of color in Jamaica? What do you mean by that?
Huh?
Areas of color in Jamaica. You color
the most heavily dense concentration of people in Jamaica. I don't want to be political incorrect here.
Yeah, well, anyway, let's move on.
Yes.
So I was making the point that I've been cleaning toilets all over the world for some time. Even on the plane.
Yes.
And it's a function. It's a function of your socialization, quite frankly. I don't want to leave. There are times what I do, if I go in and it's really bad, I just come right back out as quickly as possible. But I don't want to spend any time in any bathroom where it's a total mess, and then for anyone to even think that I would have created all that mess, quite frankly. And so I've found it's not just unique to Jamaicans. Yes, I've seen some public bathroom facilities in Jamaica, and boy, we really treat people. Yeah, it's a real
mess. Yes, Mr. Malcolm, it's terrible.
But
there's water running on the floor. You gotta be jumping up all up and down in there. You gotta be standing up on blocks and all these things. It is bad. And then we have tourists coming and see all these
No, so
things.
you keep mentioning tourists. You keep mentioning tourists. Leave the tourists out of this, because we are really supposed to create an environment that is habitable and hospitable to right?
Yes,
So we
and
don't.
I agree with him
Yes.
because we have to tackle these things and fix these because these are some of the problems that people is not seeing no movements in. You know what I'm saying? They're not seeing any improvement or maintenance in these kind of areas. And we have two parties there, years and years, and none of them not looking at those problems. They're looking at different stuff and divesting this and divesting that. And forget about the people. The only time they think about the people is when time election time is coming around. You see, they come out in their full numbers and start to engage the Jamaican people. Them. That's the only time I see they do it. But when they're in the legislature, every law they pass is against the people.
Well, there's a saying I heard on BBC one day. They were talking about politicians, and there was a quotation that was used. Politicians campaign in poetry, but govern in prose. Politicians campaign in poetry, but govern in prose.
Yes, because if you want to set an example in Jamaica, from we get independence, I think maybe one or two times we was like on a straightforward path with the respect, and you respect your neighbor, you look out for you know, time you have a thing what they call neighborhood watch and all these things. But after that, we don't see no more nothing because
we still have neighborhood watches in Jamaica.
They claim that when if the people they get certain things, the people are gonna turn their back on them. But if the people don't want to vote for who they want to vote for, you shouldn't be hindering them from these amenities, sir.
No, but people, you and everybody else don't need to be concerned about that. You just know those who have a vote know what to do when it's time to vote. Full stop. You don't need to hold any argument with anybody. Let your vote speak for itself.
Yes. Yeah, let your vote speak for yourself, because if you see certain condition, you see the sewage running down on Harewood Street or Luke Lane every day for years and years, and you don't say nothing about it. Because sometimes they don't know who to complain about, because they have these guys in the community who intimidate, were controlled by certain people. You know?
Yeah, well, we hear you, and we thank you for your usual input and participation in the program.
Yes, sir. Have a good afternoon, sir, Malcolm.
Same to you.
God bless you, my brother.
Bless you too. Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. You would have heard us before on this program saying, no longer must we be wasting vegetables and fruits for want of a market. And it's almost as if that's like telling people to do it again. So they did it again. The farmers called TVJ, and no doubt CVM as well. I saw it on TVJ. And even queued up as well. They took it around to the which animals were there? The pigs? Or the which animals? And held the bucket. And the camera ready now. And on camera, throwing out all the tomatoes. I really don't want to hear another speech. Not another speech from another agriculture minister. Not another speech from another opposition spokesman on agriculture. Not another speech from anybody with respect to agriculture. I just don't get it. I mean, don't you know if you're going to have an excess on your supply on your hands? Wouldn't you know that? Wouldn't you have a way of knowing that? And once you know that, are there not entities that you can call, Like the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, for example, we are told on the news last night by a member of parliament that the government has set aside $70 million to buy produce from the farmers and to help to get them sold, etc., etc. Why are we here again? This is the problem we have in this country. Why are we still here where people can call CVM and TVJ to come and film them wasting wasting tomatoes and whatever else that they were wasting yesterday? Why are we still here? We can't be serious. My late mother would say, willful waste, woeful want. We have too many people who are in need in this country to be wasting food. That's something I was taught you do not do. You do not waste food. There are 1 billion hungry people in the world. Of the 7-point-odd billion people in the world, 1 billion of them are hungry. 1 billion hungry people. They struggle to find food or find the means to eat. And we are busy in front of the cameras dumping tomato and whatever. I don't want to hear another speech or another interview from anybody who has anything to do with agriculture or production or enterprise in this country, because we're obviously not serious. All we want to do right now is just to see some serious action. And whether action has been taken before, well, it obviously is inadequate. It's just not working. We cannot be wasting food in a time like this, or any time at all. But even now, why are we calling TVJ and CVM to videotape us wasting food? Were any calls made to anybody else before that? What, is there a system, or isn't there a system that these farmers would benefit from? It is despicable. It is disgusting. It's disheartening. It is horrifying. It is frightening. It is shocking. It is discombobulating. We can't be serious. I've talked about this before, about 3 times already, 3 different times before now, of us wasting food, calling CVM and TVJ to come and videotape us wasting the ground provision. We're not serious, man. And the other thing is, just another example of the fact that how much we waste in this country. Trinidad Terrace and Knutsford Boulevard intersection is a mess once again. How many times are we going to fix, in inverted commas, Trinidad Terrace, Knutsford Boulevard intersection? Something is fundamentally wrong. The problem is not being dealt with in a scientific, meticulous, and design-oriented way. There is a constant flow of water, whether from a restaurant or some other business place or business places or wherever the water is coming from, that is constantly settling on the surface right there at the intersection of Trinidad Terrace and Knutsford Boulevard. And we keep spending money to patch and to resurface that area, and the problem persists. If that is not a classic example of how we've been mismanaging our resources in this country, I don't know what is. That's a classic example. Trinidad Terrace, Knutsford Boulevard intersection. They fix it, they repave it, and just give it time for the water to eat away at the surface, and we're back at square one. We can't be serious. We can't be serious. So we just keep throwing money away, just wasting money like that. My late mother used to say, she said, if you're going to do it, just do it good and done. If you're going to do it, just do it good and done. What is that? And we also had heard that, oh, they had done a different type of thing now and it's settled now. Remember that speech some time ago? The problem continues. Knutsford Boulevard, Trinidad Terrace. The surface is eating away again. It's being eaten away by the water that is constantly settling on that area. And there is no engineer in Jamaica employed or contracted by the National Works Agency that can solve that problem. I have a huge regard for engineers and other technicians and people who know their work. We can't find one of those to settle Knutsford Boulevard, Trinidad Terrace intersection once and for all. Madness.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more right here on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
Dear Pastor, with Reverend Dr. Aaron Damas on Power 106 FM is now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. 1 hour of solid advice, great interaction, and a belly full of laughs. That's Dear Pastor, now 1 power-packed hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday here on Power 106 FM.
Good man and helping, we pray, Jaman, have mercy on a good girl and help her.
Que hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5 heures moins 14. 现在几点了？5点差14分. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Errol in Spanish Town says, hi, Dervan. Some of our Jamaican citizens are very nasty. They don't know how to care for public conveniences. They break everything they can put their hands to, including peeing on the ground. You name it. Very nasty, some of us. And that is a fact. Errol in Spanish Town. Let's go to the phone lines. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Shalom to you, Mr. Derval, and all your listeners on the various platforms. And Kujas Neb. Peace, prosperity, and long life. Mr. Derval.
Good afternoon. It's Van. Vum, vum, vum. Van. Vum, vum, vum.
I heard you.
Yes.
Yes, the struggle continues, you know. A luta continua. Mr. Malcolm, I heard you worrying a lot, and I'm concerned for your welfare and your well-being.
You're not hearing correctly. You need hearing aids.
I know. You're emphasizing, you know, forcefully your point and on behalf of how we run our affairs in Jamaica, and also about the wanton wastefulness of food, in which we are in the season of pestilence, and the forecast according to scripture is that during and after this pestilence, we are gonna get a famine, a worldwide famine in which people will literally die for hunger. You know, and I heard you as if you were lamenting, but I will read you a scripture for solace, if you don't mind. And I'm coming from the book of Luke, St. Luke 21. And it goes for all of us. Take heed to yourself, lest at any time your heart be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life. And so that day come upon you unaware. And 35 and last, for as a snare it shall come on all them that dwell on the face of the earth, of the whole earth. Mr. Malcolm, take it, Mr. Malcolm, because we are at the end of our sojourn of this sinful, wicked, and enslaved life, in which our politician, our political directorate don't care. They don't care much about us except for election time when they are ready for we to re-employ them in the same condition, doing the same thing over and over again. One scientist said when you do the same thing using the same method expecting to get different result is insanity. So we are even playing part and taking part in their insanity. Mr. Malcolm, 63% of the Jamaican people didn't went to elect those persons that are now in parliament who said they are leader of this country. And I think we are in a constitutional crisis. There's no way we should have continued with the same proceeding and establish a government without some re-election or some trigger of something that should be written in the Constitution for a re-election. No way. So all those 63% of people who didn't vote has not no say.
What are you saying?
What am I saying? I'm just merely reflecting the frustration and the anger that I hear in your voice. And not only in yours alone. Several persons that call you. There was a gentleman
Like I
who
said,
called from overseas.
you need hearing aids.
Maybe
No,
I
but
do.
seriously though, we can't agree. It's like agreeing on the rules of a game. Let's say football or cricket. And at the end of the game, whether the referee made a poor decision here and there or the linesman a bad call, and upon review, it was marginal and it went in the favor of one side or another, etc. Do you then, you're asking us to change the rules of the game because the game turned out a particular way? What are you saying? I can understand if you said, based on what happened in the last election, it is clear, or you go and draw some other conclusion to say, this is why we need constitutional reform. But how can you call a duly administered election unconstitutional? On what basis do you do that?
No, let me make myself clear.
Are you looking to cause Jamaica to become like some other place where we talk about who didn't win and who whatever? What are you saying? Jamaica has one of the most vibrant democracies anywhere in the world, whether you want to appreciate that or not. Our electoral system has been held up as an example to other countries of the world. When they want election day observers, they send for Jamaicans, our people, to come and observe their elections.
Mr. Malcolm, you want us to go being technical? You want to be technical now? Democracy. It's a constitution of two words. Democracy. You said we are in one of the most vibrant democracy. Demo. The people, crassy rules. Mr. Malcolm, what I said earlier on, not that I want, well, we need constitutional reform. That's obvious. That goes without
I
saying.
want to get in a couple of messages before the program ends.
All right.
Help us in that regard, please.
All right, maybe another time.
All right, thank you.
Give someone else an opportunity.
All right, take care.
I
Thanks for the
appreciate
call.
it.
All the best. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. You see, I'm really not one of those who's going to jump on Jamaica back and beat Jamaica in such a way that is not demonstratively justified. We have some of us who will just beat for the sake of beating. We're not. We are trying our best to be as objective as possible, to examine whatever the situation is, or the institution, or the issue, whatever. That's what we're looking at. We're really not interested in the wagonist behavior where you're just taking this approach because it is popular, or to try and get a forward, as we say in Jamaica. No, we're not into that. We're not into that. Where people need to be called out and institutions need to be called out, we call them out. Right? But where credit is due, we must give credit where credit is due. We can't mix up everything, so no. No, not just throw everything on one heap. No. Right. Let's clear these messages before we have to wrap. That's why we ended that call a little earlier than scheduled. Let's see. Bernard Farquharson says there are bigger problems to come to the table than bathroom. Gene, there are always bigger problems, Bernard Farquharson. But I learned something about those different stages of man, and one of them is the anal stage. Believe it, yeah, the anal stage. And that's a bathroom problem. We'll come back to that another time. Lady Jean in Monique St. Anne says, good afternoon, Dervan and the team. Agriculture in Jamaica is a big joke. Shame on us. It's not just about planting. It's more than that. Where are the canning and packaging factories? We are only paying lip service to a sector that should be the backbone of our nation. Agriculture, that is. Thank you. Yvette Buckland says, blessings, Dervan. Continue your good job divulging information. Thank you very much, Yvette Buckland. And the story that we saw, we actually saw a tweet from Faye Ellington a short while ago, while we were just at the start of that, the caller taking that call a short while ago with respect to the curfew hours in Jamaica. So that apparently our positivity rate in Jamaica is now 20%, with a record 400 positive cases within the last 24 hours. And so the news is that we are going to have island-wide curfew in Jamaica once again from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily. The gathering limit has been reduced from 15 to 10 people. The gathering limit has been reduced from 15 to 10 people. In terms of the capacity of our health regions, in the Western region, COVID-19 ward capacity breakdown, we're at 83% of capacity at Western Regional Health Authority, 76% in the Southern Regional Health Authority, 66% in the Northern Regional Health Authority, and 59% in the Southeastern region. Serious problems we have to deal with here with respect to COVID-19, and we need to take note. We need to take note. So the curfew effective tomorrow, Wednesday, the 10th of February. Effective tomorrow, Wednesday, the 10th of February. Curfew starts at 8 in the evening and goes until 5 in the morning. And gatherings reduced to 10, no more than 10. Let's see how that goes. Has anybody been to Coronation Market recently? I have. We don't need to say anything else from there. You get the point. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Tuesday, the 9th of February 2021. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Have mercy on a good man and help him meet greater man. Have mercy on a good girl and help her.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.